So happy to see my next guest finally make her UFC debut. It's going to be taking place at UFC Fight Night on September 18th. It is Erin Blanchfield back here on the program. Erin, how's it going?
It's going good.
Good to hear. How was the weekend? I saw your brother, who fights as well, got in the win column. How cool is that? Probably a pretty proud sister there.
Yeah, that was super cool because he wanted to make his AMI debut like a little while ago, but then with COVID, a lot of the amateur shows had a hard time getting shows done. So Dead Serious had their first show back this past weekend, and he got on it, and he had a really good dominant win. So I was super proud of him. It was really cool.
How did the fight play out if people didn't see it? Just to give us a sense.
Yeah, so my brother was fighting a guy that he was like kind of taller than him, like maybe like 4 or 5 inches taller than him. So he had a really long reach. So my brother kind of had to close the distance. He got his takedowns looked beautiful. Honestly, I was jealous. I think they were better than mine in most of my fights. He just kept taking the kid down. He had really good top position, passing guard, disengaged, was kicking the legs whenever the kid would get him off. And yeah, just controlled the fight from the first round to the third. He won every round. Super dominant. I mean, he didn't get the finish, but he got everything else close of it. So
there you go. That's awesome. And another bit of news, since the last time we talked, you got your BJJ Blackbelt back in July. Congratulations. Did you think you would achieve this at such a young age? I think, 22 years old, that's a pretty awesome accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, I've been training, because I started when I was 7, but I was just doing no-gi, and I started like BJJ when I was 13. So I've been at it for almost 10 years. So I know I'm young, but I've been doing it for so long that it kind of makes sense. But it's a nice accomplishment to finally have, And
nice to have, heading into a debut like this. So that's a nice little thing to put on the resume, right? It looks good. So what happened with this fight? Because I remember, so I know for those who don't know, you're supposed to make your debut, was it earlier this year? Opponent, there's some issues there. Then they booked Sarah Alpar, but then that fight got moved. So take me through what happened, because here we are talking about a fight in September, and we did our interview like earlier this year thinking you were going to fight then.
Yeah, so I was supposed to have my debut April 10th. But then that fell out the day before because Norma missed weight and everything. And I wanted to fight sooner than that. Like I kind of wanted some notice just to get ready because I didn't really have any fights coming up when I took that fight on short notice. I mean, I'm always training, but just to get my weight down and everything the right way so I can have the best performance in my debut. But then, yeah, so they told me around in May, I think, that they wanted to book me for September because I think Sarah was booked for May, but her opponent, I think they were trying to find her opponents and like she had a few opponents fall out. So then they just booked us up for September. So, I'll make it September 18th. That'll be my debut.
So it's just been an extra long training camp then, basically, because I know you got plenty of notice for this, right?
Oh, yeah, I had a lot of notice. I've known since May, so I've had plenty of time.
Style-wise, how do you look at this fight? She's got a 9-5 record. What do you know about her?
I've watched most of her fights. And she kind of has like a wrestling style. She's aggressive and she tries to get those takedowns. She's a lefty. Which my last opponent was a lefty too, so I'm kind of getting used to that now. But yeah, I mean, she's aggressive. She has good takedowns, but I think other than that, I think I'll outclass her everywhere else. So I'm not too worried about it.
I know you do a lot of cross training for your camps. I think the last time we spoke, I know some stuff was sort of like with the COVID situation, you weren't able to do as much as you like. So what type of camp, extra long camp, have you had leading into this?
I've been training in like my main spots at MK, Muay Thai, and Silver Fox BJJ, Cordoba trained. And I've been cross training with a few other girls like Tanisha Tennant, who's fighting for the bantamweight Invicta title, like I think another week or two. Fatima Klein, who's also an Invicta fighter. And a few other people from the gyms that have been helping me out get ready for this fight.
No work with Caitlin Chukagian. I know you worked with her before a little bit.
I've still been working with her. I haven't gone up to Long Island a little bit, but we still train together.
That's good. And how's the weight cut going? Again, you had plenty of notice for this, so I'm sure it's, not a problem.
Yeah, no, the weight's coming down good. I had plenty of notice, so it's no problem.
What about her, though? I noticed, I was just checking, she hasn't made flyweight, I think, since December of 2015, which is a bit of a while. Now, granted, you guys have had lots of notice for this fight, but is that something that's crossed your mind, especially with what happened to your last opponent?
Yeah, it definitely has, because I know she hasn't fought I mean, I think the fight in May was supposed to be a flyweight, I believe. So, I mean, she's kind of known that she's going to go back down for a while. I mean, I think even if she missed weight, if it was like by a little bit, I don't think they would cancel the fight and I'd get more money. So if she misses by a pound or two, I wouldn't really mind as long as the fight still happens. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I think hopefully she'll be ready. Yeah. Is
there anything you feel like you've improved on since the last time we saw you? Because it has been a bit, if you add up all the time that's sort of been away. I mean, obviously you're always working on everything, but is there anything maybe you're looking to showcase in this fight at all?
I mean, like you said, I'm always working on everything. Like I think at this point, it's like just little techniques that I want to like perfect in my fights and kind of just get everything everything go together good in the fights. So nothing too particular, but you'll be able to see what I've been working on September 18th. So
your corner, who's going to be in there with you that night?
So I'm going to have Frankie Roberts, my jiu-jitsu coach, Augie Matthias, my striking coach, and I'm going to have my brother.
I was going to say, so the little brother's going to come along, right? He's younger than you, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, he's 19.
Wow, that's awesome. That's so cool. How's the fight playing out on September 18th? How do you envision it playing out?
I really want to get that finish. I want to get that bonus too, I think I'm going to, I think I can finish the fight standing or on the ground, whichever happens first, but I'm definitely going in there for a finish.
Is the plan, I imagine, to try and get one more in? I know that November 6th card, that would be sort of ideal, just, where you live and everything. But I don't know if that card's filled up yet. But is that something you're looking at? Not looking past Sarah Alpar, but I'm sure you've thought of that about a, card in New York, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm focused on Sarah right now, but I was looking at that because I definitely do want to, I haven't fought in so long, and I definitely want to get another one in before the end of the year if I come out of this fight fine. But yeah, if I if I finished Sarah, I'd call it. I want to get on that November 6th card. I don't know who I would fight. I'm not really sure, but if I could get on that, that'd be awesome. Because if they're still going to have it in, I know they're not completely sure with COVID and everything, if it's still going to be in Madison Square Garden, right? That's where they were planning.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes because of the whole vaccination. I don't know what's going to happen there. It's going to be very interesting to see what they decide to do because, I don't need to mention any names, but I'm sure there's a few fighters on that card who definitely are not going to be vaccinated. And so if that's a prerequisite, I don't know how they're going to do the card. We'll see. So.
Yeah, I know, because Madison Square Garden, I mean, if I had, that's where I want to fight, before I retire. That's, honestly, if I couldn't fight anywhere else, I don't care. I want to fight there one day. So hopefully that happens, but we'll see.
And then downtime, what's that looking like these days? I know you're training, you're busy. You're done. You finished all your school and stuff, right? You don't have any of that anymore?
No, not during the summer. Just downtime, just relax. I love going to the beach and just hanging out at the beach and doing, little summer activities and stuff like that, paddle boarding.
Nice.
Yeah, just hanging out.
That's good. How's the the restrictions? Are you allowed to go out without a mask, or how does that work over there in New York?
Yeah, in New York, I'm not sure I haven't been into the city too much, but in Jersey, you don't have to wear a mask anywhere technically. I mean, there's a lot of people that are starting to wear them again because of the new variants and stuff like that. But I mean, you don't have to. So and especially right now it's summer, so a lot of things are kind of outdoorsy, so people just kind of doing their thing, not really worrying about it too much.
That's good. Obviously your division's kind of interesting right now because, you have Valentina. Lauren Murphy, I think, is sort of the last, contender, so to speak, in that division because Valentina's pretty much beat everyone else. I think obviously if Calvillo beats Andrade, that's another name, but really you look like she's cleaned it out. Kind of my question to you is, not looking too far ahead here, but do you feel like you coming in at this time is a good opportunity for you to move up fairly quickly just because it seems like, a lot of the women that have fought in that division have lost to Valentina already?
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like a lot of the top 5 or so have either fought her and lost to her already, and the people below that aren't really ready to fight her. So I feel like there's especially someone like me and I know Macy and Maverick and stuff like we're kind of new blood coming in, and I think we just have to get a few more wins to get to that Valentina fight. But I think honestly, if I win this fight, maybe if I win 3 or 4 more in dominant fashion, I think I'd probably be fighting her, and that could be within just the next few years. So yeah, I'm super excited. I think, yeah, like you said, there's not much else for Valentina right now. After she beats Murphy, like you said, there's the Calvillo and Andrade fight, but if Andrade wins, she kind of just beat her recently, so then that kind of kills that fight. So yeah, I think they need some new blood, and I'm excited to finally be in there and hopefully get mixed up in there soon.
I do a podcast with Jim West, who's Aspen Ladd's coach, and one of the things he always mentions is, how important it is for women fighters to go through Invicta, and you certainly did that, and you fought a lot of good competition in Invicta. How much has that prepared you for being in the UFC now, as opposed to some other fighters who maybe don't go that route, maybe they're contender series or whatever else, because you're not getting the matchmaking like you would in Invicta?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I have 2 wins over UFC fighters already, and my 1 loss is someone else that's in the UFC as well. So I feel super confident. I know that I chose the harder road going through Invicta, but it's prepared me, and I feel like I've gotten a lot of good experience that will help me for the rest of my career. So I think going to Invicta was super beneficial for me. And
you touched on it there. I got to ask, the Macy Barbara Miranda Maverick fight, a lot of people felt like that should have gone Miranda's way. How did you score that fight?
Because I didn't watch it live because I was out, but I remember watching it again, and Honestly, I kind of thought Macy won. Like, I can see
Interesting.
how people thought Maverick won. I think it was that second round. It was pretty back and forth, and then Maverick
Yeah.
got her back at the end. But I thought Macy was winning the rest of that round up until then, and I didn't think it was enough control for Maverick to steal that round from her. So
Mhm.
I thought I gave Maverick the first round and Macy the second 2 rounds. I mean, it was
Yeah,
super.
that's where, yeah, and that's where it gets interesting because to me, like a robbery, that's where like I don't think anyone won the round. Like if you watch Ross Pearson and Diego Sanchez, I'm going back a little bit here, but that's a fight where I don't think Diego won a single round, yet they awarded him the fight. But that fight with Miranda, like you're right, that second round a little bit closer. Third round, I think Macy won. First round, Miranda definitely won. So that's where you kind of get a little bit interesting with the judging a little bit. But and I'm sure something you're thinking of as well too. I mean, you've had a controversial decision. You talked about that loss. That a lot of people consider that one very controversial.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you leave the fight that close, you can't really complain who won or lost. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Like, I know a lot of people want to see me fight Tracy again. I'd love to get that fight again too, just to beat her. And I think seeing like a Maverick and Macy again would be interesting because it was just so close the first time. So.
Erin, always a pleasure. Hopefully all goes well. Just avoid any, broken mirrors or black cats or ladders, anything like that. I think you'll be fine for this debut. It's UFC Fight Night, September 18th. Anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors? Any social media you want to plug? I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, just think on my gyms, like Silver Fox, BJJ, MK Muay Thai, Cordoba Train, my manager, KO Reps. Yeah, and just everyone that's been helping me get ready for this fight. I'm super excited.